tonight. Certainly talks on man. Austin Shepherd and the crew, covering all elite wrestling, bringing you the news. It's Sunday Night Raw, gonna rock your world. Tune into the podcast, let the chaos unfurl. The energy's electric, the passion's on fire. Kicking out podcast, take it higher and higher.
What's going on, Kicking Out Podcast Nation? It is Sunday, March 17th, 2024. I almost forgot what day it is. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's also the day of Shep. Shep 317 says make it a double.
Got one right here. But first, in light of, being 317 day, yesterday was really a national holiday, being 316 day. So just for old time's sake and out of respect. Oh, I love that sound.
Little Steve Weiser.
Well, no, not that, but
correct. But
little fine Pilsner tonight, a nice cold one. I have a koozie collection, and this one is courtesy of the Slide Job Ranch down in North Carolina. That is Ricky Stenthouse Jr., the NASCAR racer. He's got a ranch called the Slide Job Ranch because he obviously got his start in sprint cars. So koozie courtesy of them tonight. So cheers.
So a little Pilsner action, and got a double shot of something or other in the tumbler over there. I see. So
an unnamed vodka because you know what? I'm come to the realization. No free ads, bitches.
No free ads. No free ads. I love it.
Until a vodka company starts paying me, no free ads.
I'm right there with you. I've tried to get.
We've tried.
I've tried. I've maybe the new what is it? What's the one that's on Cody's bus?
Wheatley. And
American Wheatley, I think.
Yeah, it is not in my lovely little town. I can buy it online. But I'm heading to South Bend or Indy in the next week or so. So hopefully I can pick it up in one of those major metropolises.
I meant to go check this week and I failed. So that's on me. Because I got a couple liquor stores not too far from me. So that's on me.
Well, you're in the great town of Fort Wayne. You got the Captain and Corks, and those are just money.
Mm-hmm. And Belmont Beverage is pretty good too.
Yeah.
So, but yep. But I was going to go get some of Stone Cold's the Broken Skull beers, and I checked online before I went in the store, and they're both out. So I did not get myself any of those tonight. So
no IPAs for you, huh?
No IPAs or the lager. They were out of both, which they usually are. It's last time I got them, I was lucky. I had to ask, and they had some behind the counter.
Is it that good? Is it that good?
I like the lager. I don't really care for the IPA that much, but I like the lager one. This American lager is pretty good. And he came out with a brand new one. I don't even know if they have that yet. It's got 316 on the can. I don't even know. I don't know what kind of beer. It's probably another IPA, probably. But
not an IPA fan.
Yeah, I'm not a huge IPA guy either. But we know what you're drinking, Shep. But now I let Paul do this for me last week, so now I'm letting you. What wrestling do you want me to put on back here?
Oh,
it's on the Peacock, unfortunately.
You got the Peacock. So let's go with 1996. Hold on, I can't think of the year, but I'm gonna look it up here. Damn Google! I hate autocorrect. There we go.
What?
So we're gonna go ECW Barely Legal, 1997. I was right.
All right, let's do this. All right. God, I hate this app so much.
It sucks.
Okay. It just takes forever to navigate. All right. Okay. Barely legal 90 what?
7.
97. All right. Barely legal 97. Where are you?
Steffi, you are welcome. We were thinking alike tonight.
Oh, I hate this app with a passion. I'll get there.
Welcome to the Kicking Out podcast, where we see Tanner's at the back of his head for the most start of the night.
Oh, that's fun, isn't it?
About as fun as your Boilermakers yesterday.
That's all right. I one seed yet again. Got a day of rest. I'll take it. I'm ready to get hurt.
Actually, no, I think it was the best thing for them because the way the officiating was in the Big Ten tournament, somebody was about to get hurt.
Just ridiculous. And the Big Ten wonders why they struggle in the tournament every year.
I know that you have a whole nother podcast for that one, but I still have to poke the bear a little bit.
Well, that's all right. I'm just disappointed in the state of Indiana that Purdue's the only team to make it out of the state this year. Well, Indiana State got screwed. But.
Yeah, okay. That was going to be like one of my few rabbit holes that would get us the explicit rating earlier. But that was an absolute tragedy that Indiana State did not get in to the NCAA.
I'm wondering if they don't have this pay-per-view on Peacock.
Why wouldn't they have it on Peacock? It's the original ECW pay-per-view. They own the library, don't they?
No, they do, but I am not seeing it anywhere.
April 13th, 1997. There was 1,170 people in attendance.
Oh, man. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Well, let's start our pod, and then I'll, when you're going down to Rand, I'll turn around and try to find it. But, big business. We started with big business this week. Dynamite. It was a pretty stacked card.
From Boston.
And we were wrong. We thought maybe the newest acquisition of the AEW roster would appear about the 9 o'clock hour. Tony's like, nope, we're kicking it off with Miss CEO herself. She came out, the crowd popped, crowd was loving it. CEO chants all night long. You like her, you hate her. Mercedes has some charisma.
She does. And I want to say they handled this return the same way they handled Punk's.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was the worst kept secret in professional wrestling that she was going to debut. Same with Punk. So I feel like when that happens, Tony says, look, we might as well get right into it and kick it off right. He did it with Punk in Chicago, did it with Mercedes in Boston. Crowd popped. Big crowd. Was that the TD Garden Arena, right?
Yep. Where the Celtics play. Yep.
Where the Celtics play. Over 9,000, I think, in attendance is what I saw on AEW Ticks or AEW Metrics or whatever Twitter.
WrestleTix.
Yeah, whatever Twitter thing I follow. I followed so much shit on Twitter. It's not even funny. But yeah, kicked off the show great. I thought had a pretty decent promo. She caught a little flack before. She did a podcast maybe a couple days before and said eventually she'll go back to Connecticut. Like it'll happen at some point. So some of the AEW faithful kind of shit on her a little bit for that. But overall, great debut. It worked. And it was a loud house. So yeah,
and it kind of, they started with it, and then shortly after that they revealed that the main event was going to be Willow versus Riho, and it's like, all right, that's not, I don't think, what any of us three pictured to be the main event, but you kind of knew they tipped their hat there that Mercedes was going to show up in the main event segment.
And those ladies, don't get me wrong, no harp on them. They had a tough card to follow, and so I felt like that main event was a little bit lackluster under the radar until Mercedes came back out in her wrestling gear.
Yeah, let's pivot to a different ECW pay-per-view. You got any others? Because I'm not finding it. I think they removed it.
That's sad if they did. Let's see. What was the one from Ohio where Bully Ray went off, or Bubba Ray?
I mean, we have November to Remember. We have Hardcore Haven. We have WrestlePalooza. We have
Hold on.
Cyber Slam, Guilty as Charged, Heat Wave, Living Dangerously, House Party, Blizzard Blast.
Okay, yeah. Let's do ECW Heatwave 99. If I remember correctly, the Dudley promo about got them canceled on every pay-per-view carrier at the time.
I'm sure whatever this is, I'm sure they've edited. So which one are we going with?
We're going with Heatwave, ECW
Okay.
Heatwave 1999.
All right.
I was a young sophomore in high school at the time.
I was in elementary school.
Thanks, Tanner.
You're welcome. Okay, 99. All right. There we are. Finally.
I can't believe this pay-per-view is on the Peacock and the
It
original is not.
It is rated TV mature. So,
well,
and I do have it muted because I don't want us to get any copyright strikes or anything. So
yes, you gotta have it. You gotta have it muted.
Hey, that is an AEW talent behind me.
That is the TAZ, man.
That is the human suplex machine.
Yeah.
All right, but yes, Mercedes is officially in AEW. We knew it. It's been reported by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful and Fightful Select that she's been under contract since December. So, just waiting for the right time to debut her and making sure she's healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, and she had a broken ankle, right? Was it broken foot or ankle?
It was an ankle, and it was so bad that doctors first thought her career might be over.
Yeah, so get her locked down, and then obviously make sure she's 100% healthy to debut. And obviously, you're going to debut her. That means we're going to see her in the ring fairly soon.
Well, and kudos to the AEW marketing team, graphics team. There was a commercial right after she debuted, or maybe it was during the world title match, which was the first match to kick off the show, and she was one of the first talents in the commercial. So it was for Dynamite, a promotion for Dynamite. So I was like, all right, yep. If you're gonna make her that big a deal, she's got to be front and center. So, but yeah, and we were on here once again as far as where we thought the AEW World Title match was gonna be placed at in the card. It kicked off the show as far as matches are concerned. Samoa Joe versus Wardlow, and Samoa Joe was victorious in the end, but I didn't think, even though Wardlow passed out and didn't submit, I didn't think they made him look weak at all.
No, I thought Wardlow looked like an absolute beast in this match. Made Joe look like he struggled a little bit with the size of Wardlow. And it wasn't the right time to take the belt off of Joe right now. So I thought we got a good, 10, 12-minute match here.
Yep.
Hard hitting. These guys are stiff, and they work really well together. Two big guys that are just super athletic, and they put on a great show a great match to kick off the show.
I'm interested to see where the Wardlow and Kingdom storyline goes, because it does kind of put a wrinkle in Adam Cole's plans.
So do we go back to Dynamite and we see a backstage segment of everybody in the Kingdom that is holding gold, and Wardlow will need to explain himself why he doesn't have gold. I think we'll get an angle of some sort of that and like make him explain and them try to put him down a little bit. And it'll just fuel the fire even more for this eventual split that we'll get.
Yeah, because I think the direction they're going with this is eventually MJF's got to return, right? And he's going to cost Wardlow, or if Cole's healthy, he's going to cost Cole something. and then because we got to get that Cole MJF one-on-one feud going eventually. So
Eventually, yeah.
so
And what was the connection? And I think we talked about it 3 podcasts ago, or maybe it was in a text thread of the Dynasty pay-per-view, the name Dynasty, and how it's connected with MJF.
Yeah, when MJF was part of MLW before he was an AEW talent, that was his faction. It was called Dynasty. So it was him and Hammerstone, and I always forget the third member. He's still an MLW talent. I cannot think of his name off the top of my head. I'll Google it, Darren, while we're on the pod, and I'll tell everybody, but I cannot remember. But after Samoa Joe successfully defended the World Championship against Wardlow, Swerve came out, and he had a chain with him, and he was fighting away security guards, and he was ready to go, but Joe walked away. So that's going to be our main event for Dynasty, right? Those two for the title.
Yeah, and it'll be, I'm not saying my predictions right away, but it's going to be really hard for them not to switch that belt over. Just the momentum Swerve has, how over he is, how damn good in the ring he is, and then obviously he can talk on the mic. So I think he's right. I think it's time, personally, to pull the trigger. Nothing against Joe. Joe's a legend. He's been around. He's done it all. But
yep,
I think when somebody's on fire, you give him that gold.
And Tony's usually pretty good at that, I feel like.
I feel he will pull the trigger more quickly than most bookers that we get to watch.
Yeah. And the Dynasty was originally consisted of Hammerstone, MJF, and Richard Holiday. But then they added more members, Gino Medina and Grogan. Yeah. So, but those three were the three I was thinking of: Holiday, Hammerstone, and MJF. So,
and isn't Hammerstone a free agent right now?
I think so. His contract's always so weird. I don't know. I think he is, though.
I thought he left MLW, did a couple appearances for TNA, but I think he's free.
Yeah, I will have to do some digging on that, but I think you're right.
So does MJF come back? MJF has to come back as a face.
Yeah, I would think so.
With Cole being a heel.
Yep.
So it wouldn't be, you couldn't put him in a faction, because I feel like the heels, you always start, if you're going to be a heel, then yeah, you can have a faction, but a face stands alone.
And he's going to want to pick these guys apart one by one, because they all screwed him over. So
that, or if you bring a guy like Hammerstone in and to have MJF's back, and you can call it the Dynasty, I guess,
Yeah.
But
yeah. It'll be interesting. I don't know when we'll see them return. Probably not Dynasty, but maybe a Double or Nothing in May, maybe. I don't know.
Why would you name a pay-per-view after that if you don't expect him to return?
That's true. I mean, yeah, that's a good point, because I don't know what else. I don't know where else the Dynasty name would come from. World's End, that kind of made sense after the way that pay-per-view ended. MJF's World kind of came to an end.
And also, he decided to rehab said shoulder instead of have surgery.
Correct.
So he's been off for 2.5 months?
Yeah, we haven't seen him since the last weekend of December, last weekend of the year.
Yeah. So we're 2.5 months going on 3. By the time that pay-per-view airs, which is April 21st.
Yep. About a month.
We're gonna be almost 4 months into it. Set something up in May is Forbidden Door, correct?
May will be Double or Nothing. June, Forbidden Door.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're setting up something. He's gonna appear, and you're gonna set something up for Double or Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, but hopefully Cole's good by then. I know he's finally, doesn't have the crutches, so that's got to be a step in the right direction.
That's if MJF has not signed a contract in Connecticut. Nobody's confirmed that.
That's one thing I like. I mean, I think if I had to guess, gun to my head, that he has re-signed with AEW and did it a while back. But I love how they keep it so under wraps. Like that doesn't leak at all. Like they're very good.
They pulled him off the website.
Mm-hmm.
So he's currently not listed as a talent.
He just had a birthday this last week. They didn't do the happy birthday post like they do with other talent, and people were making a big deal about it. I'm like, I love this. Like they're playing it by the book like you should. So I think it's great. It's great. Also, you know who I think is great so far in AEW? Okada. Okada as a heel, I think has been awesome. So
Asshole Okada is awesome.
My God.
He almost is a better EVP than, I know he's not an EVP, but he's almost better in this gimmick than the Bucks are.
Yep.
He is a bigger asshole. I love it.
We saw Marvez backstage. He's trying to get them to, talk about their actions lately. The Young Bucks then came in and said, they're the 3 best professional athletes in the world, and they're right there in the elite. They've helped each other out in the past. They could get in. They're like, Okada could give you 14 other million reasons why. And then Okada tells Alex to wish Matthew a happy birthday. And he says, "Happy birthday, Matthew." He goes, "No, seen it." And then he has to start singing happy birthday to Okada as they cut off to go to commercial break. And it's just the delivery Okada had there, that popped me. That was so good.
And his English is a little better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, he's getting better. Yeah. Yeah. So the dude's got charisma. And I know a lot of people were unhappy with the way he debuted in AEW as a heel, but I'm all for it. It's a different direction than I think a lot of people thought they'd go, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And once Kenny's healthy, Hangman's back from his suspension, it's going to be some good stuff. Good stuff. And we had a good 6-man tag with the Elite versus Penta, Eddie, and Pac, returning Pac that we hadn't seen in a while. And just the one-on-one segments between Okada and Kingston were so good throughout this match.
Obviously, that's going to be a match at Dynasty. Have they already announced that?
It's not Dynasty. It's this Wednesday.
Oh, that's right.
They stacked this Wednesday's card.
I think we talked about it last week. It'll be at Dynasty.
We thought it would be a Dynasty until
then all of a sudden, let's do it on free television on Wednesday night, the night the NCAA tournament kicks off. So I guess
I think that's why he stacked it. Yeah,
he's trying to stack it. So
yeah. But that's going to be a fun match. And did you notice that's only for the Continental Crown, not the ROH title or the Japan title?
Correct, and he is facing Mark Briscoe at is it Supercard of Honor?
Yes, I think that's the one. Yeah, it's Mania weekend, the Friday night.
Mania weekend, Supercard of Honor. We're going to get Mark Briscoe versus Eddie Kingston.
So we saw the Elite win. Of course, you knew they weren't going to lose this. But the Kingston's the one that got hit by the Rainmaker. So what do you think happens Wednesday night on Dynamite? Do you think Eddie retains, or do you think Okada becomes the new champ? Or is there a screwy finish?
I think
that leads to a Dynasty match.
I think they want to throw you off by saying it's for the Continental Crown, even though he still carries it. And the advertised match with Mark Briscoe is only for the ROH title.
Yeah.
So I could see they did this with FTR when FTR held 3 belts. They slowly took them off.
Mm-hmm.
So if you slowly take him off Eddie, it doesn't necessarily make him look bad.
Right. Spreads the wealth too a little bit to other talents.
Yeah, and isn't there a New Japan show in Chicago?
Yes. I don't know if I froze or Shep froze. I think it looks like Shep froze. I hear him. Oh, he's back. He's back. I don't know. One of us froze. But yes, there is a New Japan show in Chicago coming up in April. Jack Perry's advertised for that.
So if they're going to do that, then he could obviously defend the strong title there. He's held him for what? Since
World's End.
World's End. So, 3-month reign. I think it's been tremendous reign by him.
Oh yeah.
His in ring, I think, has gotten a little bit better. I know he is working with the the guy can't pronounce his name. Cesar.
Hey.
What?
Paul's wrestling behind us.
I see. Paul is
Roadkill.
Roadkill. Good job. No wonder Paul couldn't be on the pod tonight.
Yes. That's one thing I didn't even address. Yes, our
Yes.
third member of the pod, Paul. He said he was under the weather, but now he's on my TV. So
Roadkill.
I don't know what's going on?
That, or maybe he's back home turning butter. I don't know.
Could be.
Back to Eddie Kingston. He's yeah, thanks. I know my internet sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously though, my 3-year-old says the same word poodoo or whatever. So. Same level there. Anyways, who the hell's Eddie working out with now?
Cesar Bononi.
Yeah, Cesar Baloney. Yeah. So I can honestly tell you, I probably enjoy Eddie's backstage work almost a little bit more than I enjoy his in-ring work. But it makes me enjoy his in-ring work because I look forward to his speaking afterwards. So
Yep.
Is it time? Maybe it is a little time. So
I don't know what happened to the talent that played Roadkill after the ECW days.
Well, he probably got shunned.
You're probably right.
Then the Amish religion, they shun you.
Maybe he was part of that Amish Mafia show. You remember that show that was on TV for a couple of years?
Yeah, the pro golfer. What was his name? Duffner. Wasn't he like the lead character in that? Jason
It sure looked like Lebanon Levi. He looked like Jason Duffner.
All right, here we go. Michael DiPoli is a retired professional wrestler known for Extreme Championship Wrestling under the name Roadkill. He was billed from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is, Roadkill was in WWE in 2007 because that's the picture was, and he looked absolutely like shit. Wow. Wow. He was trained by Taz and Perry Saturn. Let's see when he actually.
I like one of those guys. The other one I don't care for.
Perry was a little different dude.
He still is different.
Oh, I guess I don't. Let's see. Yeah, he went to WWE in 2005 to 2008 as a tag team with Doring. I remember that. Yeah, he worked for under ECW, blah, blah, blah. Then he went to OVW. All right, when the fuck did the guy retire? There we go.
Oh, yes, the explicit going. There we go.
There it is. He was released from WWE on February 4th, 2008. And then he retired from professional wrestling until old boy Tommy Dreamer come knocking along October 6th, 2012. He wrestled again with Doring, defeating FBI in the first ever House of Hardcore show. Since then, he hasn't wrestled since 2012.
There we go.
There you go. That answers
That's what happened to Roadkill.
He gone.
He gone. Next up on Dynamite, we had the guy who I think is going to be the future face of the company, maybe by the end of the year. Will Ospreay, the Billy Goat, comes out to address the crowd and address his upcoming match next month at Dynasty against Bryan Danielson. I mean, how crazy is it? His second pay-per-view match in the company is going to be the dream match everybody's been wanting. The match he's wanted for years. Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson.
Bruv. I don't know if I'm more infatuated with the accent, the way he talks. What's with the background, by the way?
Oh, just Meltzer.
He's another tool.
And I know that. I know his office gives you anxiety.
It does. I mean, whatever.
I'll go back to our ring.
Okay, that's a little better.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't have to look at pissant. No, I mean, he's literally wrestled twice
Yes,
in
twice.
AEW.
Yep, 2.
Since full times.
Yes.
Since being full time. Came out to one of the biggest pops. Had a great promo. Him and Tony, I think, worked really well together. Then finally, he just said, "Hey, Tony, give me that mic. I need it." He was getting a little excited, and he needed to walk around with that mic. So, great promo. And yeah, here we are, 30 days. We're going to be less than 30 days in, and we're going to get the match that we've been asking for how many years?
Yeah,
so
get them out.
And then what else do you want to? I mean, we're obviously going to get hopefully we're going to get another Omega match when Omega's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We can get another Jay White match. Him and Jay White, they're more mature now than they used to be.
Swerve.
Oh yeah. Swerve. MJF.
The last time I think Swerve and Osprey did it, they had a dance off or something.
Yeah, they were pretty young. Yeah,
they were real young.
MJF, Darby Allin.
I tell you, I watched him in New Japan, but it was a triple threat match. I'd love to see Moxley and Osprey again.
Mm-hmm.
They had David Finlay with them last Wrestle Kingdom, but I think those two guys could tear the house down.
I wonder if something's up with Mox, because I'm surprised the BCC aren't in the bracket for the tag team tournament, especially after they beat FTR and Revolution.
And Mox and Yuta were not on Collision.
No, I know. And Claudio
Saturday.
faced Archer, last night. I wonder if something's up with Mox that we don't know about.
Well, he got his ass kicked in a jiu-jitsu match.
I did see that on X.
He got choked out.
Yeah.
But again, that's like me and you that play golf as a hobby, trying to decide to go play in a tournament with pros.
Exactly.
And 3 or 4 holes in, we're down 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, because I saw people making fun of him, like, oh, he got tapped out by a guy that looks like he works at, I don't know if they said like Wendy's or a grocery store or something. I'm like, most MMA fighters, a lot of them, they look like regular, ordinary people. Like,
yeah,
a lot of, or not even MMA fighters, a lot of professional tacticians that are good at holes and stuff. I mean, they look like your everyday guy, and then they can just whoop your ass.
And I feel like, and I think Kingston talked about it, they do, a lot of the wrestlers do jiu-jitsu for their workout, their cardio. So it's not a full-time gig.
Right.
So,
but I love the end of Ospreay's promo. He said the moment he stepped foot in AEW, a phrase has followed him. That's restore the feeling. He said he is the feeling. Ospreay says this match is about reminding people what AEW is. Yeah, they're going to tear the house down in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yep. And a month from today will be the Go Home Dynamite show for the Dynasty pay-per-view in St. Louis. And Dynamite's going to be in Indianapolis. And the Kicking Out podcast will be there. So if you're there, please come say hi if you see us. Well, love to chat it up with you.
I'll be by the bar, camera hard side, have it to myself. Bartender's cute little thing, and she makes a great vodka lemonade.
Go find Shep. Next up, we saw Deanna Peraza shown backstage. Says it's a numbers game that Tony Storm wants to play. Then let's do it. She can find a partner for next week in Toronto, and she just Storm watches for the shoe as it's headed straight up her ass. And Deanna found a partner. It's gonna be her and Thunder Rosa versus Mariah May and Tony Storm.
Which I watched the little promo from Collision. They talked about how they're not friends. They have worked together. They were enemies, but they respect each other. It'll be good. I'd like to see these two as a tag team. I still want to see more Dorana, Peraza, and Tony. I want to see that match on another pay per view.
Yeah,
we got to keep the story going a little bit longer.
Yep, I agree. It'll be good. Next up, we got Darby Allin versus Jay White. This was supposed to be Darby's last match before going to climb Mount Everest on March 27th. But unfortunately, 2 minutes into this match, Darby Allin broke his foot. Legit, broke his foot.
And it was just that he landed it. he jumped off the ropes and landed on Jay White and landed his foot wrong, and it looked kind of awkward when he landed it, but he popped up and did another 8-9 minutes.
Yeah, kept going.
And I think when the X-ray came out, you sent it to Paul and I said this may be a good thing, and the reason I say this is because of the way he left that last promo. You know, a lot of people that clown Mine Evers don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just hey, I'm going to go sign up with this tourist group and we're going to, go hiking. I mean, there's a lot of people don't come back for that. And it's because they don't know when to quit. And obviously we've watched Darby over the last couple of years and he doesn't quit. So maybe this is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm telling you right now, he's going to get this foot healed. He'll be back in July-ish probably. He was going to wrestle hard until maybe next spring, and then he's going to do this damn thing again.
Yep.
So,
he's not just going to put it off and not do it. He'll do it. It's Darby. He's an adrenaline junkie. But Jay White got the win, like we all thought he should, because they need to give Jay White a big push. But no, I mean, Darby put up a good fight. At the end, he got dropped by the Blade Runner. But post-match, Jay White offers his hand to Darby, but as Darby goes to shake it, the Guns attack him from behind. So they're back to their heel ways. They trap one of his legs in a chair, and they get a baseball bat. But the Acclaimed come down and stop him. However, then Jay White nails Billy Gunn with a chair. The Acclaimed then get left lane as well with shots from the baseball bat and the titles. And then Darby gets dragged into the ring. They put his ankle back into the chair, and Jay White slammed the baseball bat down onto it. So good stuff. I thought it made the Bullet Club Gold look really strong again. Now we're getting a feud that we've wanted for weeks, if not months, on the pod between Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaimed. Bang Bang Scissor Gang is no more. Now maybe we can unify the ROH and AEW Trios titles and get that going.
Which they need to be unified. There's even because we have ROH talent on AEW, you don't need to have two sets of trios titles. Tag titles, I can handle it. Trios titles, no.
I agree.
So
especially when you don't defend it since August.
Yeah. And plus, the Trios AEW titles are pink because of the Acclaimed. The silver Trios titles are kind of blah on the ROH side. So it gives you a chance to debut a new set of belts, new design, and make them look pretty good. So.
Yep. I'm still hoping they debut a new set of tag belts. I hope they retire the old design with Sting and get a new design because the finals of that tournament are going to be at Dynasty next month. So, which you got to think the Bucks are going to be in the finals, right? I mean, they're EVPs.
Yeah, I think they would, but I also had a shot, and boy, that kicked our that looked like a bad decision on Saturday. But
we'll talk about that momentarily. But we do have a tag match to talk about. I mean, we could just skip it for all I care about. We'll talk about it. It's Chris Jericho and Hook, or Jera Hook, as I guess they're going to be called, against the Gates of Agony. Poor Hook. I wish he wasn't involved in this, but it was supposed to be Sammy Guevara from what it sounds like, but Sammy's suspension caused him to pivot. So Hook drew the short end of the stick here. In the end, Jera Hook got the win. It was pretty cool how the ending part of this match, I thought, with Jericho and Hook both locking in their submission finishers. Now that was pretty creative.
It was. Gates Agony, I kind of like those guys. They're
big, rough. They're physical.
They're big, athletic guys. There's just really nowhere to go with them right now.
Right.
So they got stuck with this. So.
Yep. But I mean, it's just interesting how Jericho's going back to his Lionheart gimmick for this little run. I don't know.
Yeah, which you notice when his Lionheart music hits, doesn't get much of a pop.
No,
when like when Judas hit, it was a huge pop. Now it's
Right.
kind of like nothing.
Right. So, but we are getting a match between Hook and Jericho this Wednesday night. So, yeah, we'll see. Kyle O'Reilly shown backstage. He admits he thought he was, he thought he might not never wrestle again, but that was the least of his problems. As there was a period he couldn't even pick up his daughter. However, now he's here. He wonders if he can still hang. And, this is the most competitive roster he's ever been in, most competitive roster in the history of sport. He's impressed with the bounty hunter. Brian Keith says they'll have a bout this week at Collision. Roderick Strong then turns up and says he has respect for Kyle, and if he wants to do this on his own, then he should.
I like him on his own.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
We've never seen when we saw him in NXT, and then when he came to AEW, he's always been with somebody. Now let's see what he can do on his own. We know his in-ring work is you can't question that. And after Saturday, I would say he's 100% back.
Mm-hmm.
But the 2 backstage segments we got from him really, really impressed me. I thought like they were from the heart.
Yes.
They were real. And he grabbed you. And that's what the point of those are. And he did a hell of a job. So I kind of like him on this little singles run, and hopefully he stays by himself and it works out.
Well, and I like the thought of those other 3, the guys he's had history with, Taven Bennett, especially Roderick Strong, getting mad eventually that he won't join them. And then that's a good feud for Roderick and Kyle for the international championship.
Yeah, those 2 for that belt could have some bangers.
For sure. We then got the main event of the night. The notes are on. It's Willow Nightingale versus Riho. It says Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale. That's wrong. I think that's the direction they're probably going for her first big feud. But I thought these ladies did pretty well. I know we've been harsh on Riho in the past on here and in some of the other women's matches, but I thought you were correct in your statement earlier that these gals were in a tough spot. They had to they had to follow the rest of the card.
They did, and I would say one of my future stars of the women's division is Willow.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her. I think she has had some good matches. I think she has potential. She's very athletic. She can move well, and she's got a little size to her. And then again, I know we don't have to go down the Riho saga, but she's athletic.
Very.
And I would say that Willow carried this match. I thought Willow carried Riho and really put on the best effort she could. Again, I thought the crowd was a little dormant because of obviously what had happened the previous hour and a half. And then obviously with that as your main event, you knew Mercedes was going to make a appearance. And again, obviously Mercedes injured herself wrestling Willow in New Japan. And that's how Willow got that New Japan title for the little bit of a reign she had. So like to see them back. I don't want to see them in ROH, though. I know Willow's been a little bit on the ROH side, so don't want to see that. I want to see him in AEW, and I want to keep Willow on the main roster. I know she bounces back and forth, but I think she can be right up in that title picture with Mercedes, with Deanna, with Thunder, with Toni Storm.
And arguably the best in-ring worker of them all is on ROH. Mostly is Athena.
And
Athena on AEW.
Yeah, we do. And I think I've seen 2 or 3 Athena Willow matches, and they were great. So, well, let me say great. They were good, until you get them on a main pay-per-view card in front of a 10,000 person stadium. Then you can call them great. But those girls work really, really well together.
This match was a little back and forth, but at the end, Willow dropped the straps, delivered a huge doctor bomb for the victory. After the victory, the lights go out. Julia Hart standing there with her TBS title. Sky Blue pops from behind, attacks Willow. Two of them are jumping Nightingale until her Mercedes. Music hits. She makes her way out. She's dressed in her gear this time, ready to go. She drops Sky Blue with the right hand, then hits Julia Hart with a boot to the head as she then nails her finisher, which looked really smooth this time. I know in the past in New Japan, the first time she popped up there wasn't running real clean, but she hits it to the TBS champion. She then turns her attention to Willow, who lifts Mercedes' arm and gives her the moment. And she gets the CEO chant again as we go off the air. So her hometown crowd in Boston, they sure do love the CEO.
They do. There was some girls up in the rafters that got put on camera and got a lot of shit for no reason. I felt like
just supporting their friend. I mean,
and I loved it. And yeah, they put it on social media, but they were leaving the hotel and they all put on like ski mask or whatever, which is great, absolutely great. And then people just have to shit on it because people suck on social
yes,
media.
they do.
I mean, they suck sometimes.
Yep.
Let them support a friend. Let them have fun. Can you imagine? That'd be like a professional chef, right? You're Gordon Ramsay, and you want to go to a restaurant and have a great meal and not be noticed and just enjoy the food, right? These girls went to support their friend and just enjoy the show because they didn't have to work. Oh, Cyrus the Virus is on behind you.
Well, good old Callus back there.
Yeah, Cyrus. That's when he had hair. Look at that hair.
I know.
He still had a big ass forehead though.
Yeah. He didn't have the scar yet.
He didn't have the scar yet, which changes colors week by week. Should have had the scar. He was a douche, and Cyrus the Virus sucked. Anyways, but yeah, leave him alone. Let him go enjoy the show, enjoy their friend. They purposely covered themselves up so they didn't get shit from their home promotion, and they sat up in the fucking 700 club. I mean, they were up there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like the tribalism between AEW, WWE, and other promotions is pretty much just fans. I'm using air quotes for anybody that's listening on social media because most of the talent, they get along. They know when one promotion is hot, it's good for the whole business. You know,
and we saw this week. Nothing you would have lost your left leg if you would have bet this. We got a WWE talent, full sign time talent, appearing on an independent GCW show WrestleMania weekend.
Yep.
And it sounds like there might be more than one to come.
Yeah, I think Josh Barnett of Bloodsport and Triple H have a pretty good relationship. Sounds like a lot of respect for each other. So it's the name of the game. It's who you know, your network,
and
how can both sides benefit.
And I know it's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, but he runs it under the GCW flag banner with Brett Lauderdale. And it happened. Was it a year or two ago? It was right after Mox dropped the GCW title with a run-in from John Morrissey. That's what I'm going to call him. And Gage was pissed. Gage had a fiery promo about companies and basically directing it at Tony Khan. And after that, Brett Lauderdale, I think the next week was seen him and Gage were taking pictures with Stephanie McMahon at a show. They were in the McMahon put him in a suite. Stephanie, that is, put him in a suite. And they were like, there's our new relationship. But obviously there was something to that. It just took a year or so to fester. But
Yep.
Another one I saw, and it's only on the dirt sheets, it's complete rumor, is there's a chance that old Dirty Dom.
I saw that too.
You saw that too? Okay. I mean, I don't know how much back.
That would be entertaining. That would be entertaining.
But Dirty Dom in a Bloodsport match, obviously it's a ring with no ropes or post, and it's half shoot, half professional wrestling.
It's kind of like what they tried to do with the Raw Underground crap during the pandemic.
Yeah, this one's a little
more shoot,
a little more
say than that. But
and usually Moxley appears on that show.
Yeah, yep.
So we're gonna have independent wrestlers. We're going to have AEW wrestlers, and we're going to have WWE wrestlers on
Yes.
the independent show Mania weekend. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy times, man.
it's not Fight TV anymore. It's Thriller
Thriller,
TV.
yeah.
And I think it's, you talk about the $5 that you go with Fightful. I think it's $4.99 unlimited Thriller TV a month, and you get all the GCW shows. It's the best $5 I spend. So, and you don't have to watch them all. I fast forward through a lot of them. You can watch them whenever you want. So,
Yep. And Shayna Baszler is the talent.
oh yeah,
representing WWE.
we
I know we got some question marks over here. I'm like, hey, Shep's on a roll. I'm letting him go.
go. Which makes perfect fit for her with her MMA background.
Yep.
So.
No, she's a legit badass. I mean, yeah, it makes perfect sense. So.
Speaking of that, what's the chance? They haven't announced her opponent. What's the chance of her opponent being Ronda Rousey?
That'd be interesting. That'd be fun.
We saw Ronda appear on ROH a couple times, right?
Yeah,
Twice?
it was just because she wanted to work with her friend, Shafir. Yeah.
And then she showed up on a Wrestling Revolver show too.
Yes.
So we haven't seen her since then, but I don't know. Brett Lauderdale pulls a lot of rabbits out of his hat during times like this.
So the independents in general, I mean, so Paul Walter Hausen and Bully Ray put Cardona through a flaming table over this weekend. So
yes, and remind me who the hell this Paul Walter guy is again. Some TV actor?
He's from Hollywood. I mean, he's like award-winning guy that all of a sudden has decided to get into wrestling a little bit. So, because we've seen him on Rampage in the past, he did some things. That's with Jeff Jarrett. They stole his Golden Globe because he's a Golden Globe winner. But no, he's a pretty popular guy, and he did an interview on the Chris Van Vliet podcast, Insight with Chris Van Vliet, about a week or two ago. Did you see what wrestler he called out for a match for Mania weekend in Philadelphia?
Tommy Dreamer?
Sami Callihan.
You want to die?
I know. That's pretty much what Chris said. Like, are you crazy? Yeah. So,
Sammy's just as crazy as Mox.
Just kudos. Yeah, that's why they used to be tag partners.
Yeah.
Back one day. So, hey, kudos to Paul for just diving right in. I guess got to go for it. But Rampage was your usual Rampage this week. Nothing real noteworthy to take out of.
Oh, I don't know. Takeshi's match?
Yes. Well, yeah. I was gonna say
okay.
Besides one thing, but
I mean that to me that's the best Rampage match we've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, Takeshita's one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world. And he's proven it time and time again every time he gets in the ring. But Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta defeated with Kentucky gentleman Chuck Taylor by their side, defeated the Dark Order, who, let's be honest, they can't beat anybody at this point. So that was part of the tag team tournament, I believe. So they're heading on. Back from the break, I did enjoy this segment too. We saw Zach Knight, who is the brother of Saraya. He attacked two people backstage as Harley Cameron and Saraya watched on. Angelo Parker confronted him and began brawling with Knight. So I like the little feud they got going on there.
Well, and after this, Angelo had a promo with Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably one of the best promos I've seen from him.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was real. There was some anger. And I mean, you would never, if you put the two side by side, you would never put those two as a couple, let alone like an on-screen couple. I don't know, behind the screen, whatever, but they one is, he's always clean cut, dressed to the nines, and she's got the tattoos, the leather, the spikes, completely opposite. But I don't know, the two segments I've seen with him, it works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see Zach Knight work.
Mm-hmm.
I know WWE turned their back on him and sent him home and kept Soraya. Obviously, there was a movie about it. He went back home and fought some demons. Got his shit together. Became one of the biggest stars over in England, and now it's going to pay off over here. So I'm excited to see him in the ring. Obviously, he comes from a big wrestling family. He's got the size, he's got the look. I think this is going to be a great feud.
I do too. And how good are the 2.0 guys when they're on their own doing promos? Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, and Cool Hand Ange. Parker.
I think they're better separate than they are together.
I do too.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've been really enjoying Daddy Magic.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
He's awesome.
He's great.
He's awesome. One thing I've noticed about in 2024 is with the women's division growing and getting more depth, we're seeing a lot more women's tag matches. So I wonder if women's tag titles are on the horizon in the near future. Sometimes, I don't want to get too many titles because I think there is such thing as too many titles, but they do have a lot of depth and a lot of talent in that women's division. So maybe done right,
they could do it.
Mm-hmm. But where I was going with this is we saw Toni Storm and Mariah May with Luther. They defeated LMK and Kayla Sparks. Pretty quick match there. Toni Storm hit the Storm Zero on Sparks, tagged Mariah May in, then she pinned Sparks for the win. So, and I love Mariah May doing the old Starks gimmick, the old Tony Starks look. It fits her perfectly.
Oh, wearing the ring gear, the red and black ring gear, patent leather, it's great.
Yep. And the main event you were talking about earlier, Konosuke Takeshita versus Commander, who had Alex Abrahantes, or the Hype Man as he's better known as, by his side. And these two did tear the house down as far as in-ring. Unfortunately, Commander, this was not the main event either. I forgot there was one more. There was a trios match. But unfortunately, Commander did get shoot hurt during this match, which impacted the card for Collision last night. It was a heck of a match.
What was that the Canadian Destroyer off the top rope?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at the end, Takeshita landed a running knee and then a spinning Falcon Arrow for the win. So, yeah, still making him look strong.
Yeah. Again, I would say the best match I've ever seen on Rampage.
It was pretty darn good.
And usually I do watch Rampage, but it's usually times 60. So it's fast forwarded, but I did slow down to watch this one.
Yep. And the main event was Trios Action, Undisputed Kingdom versus Top Flight and Action and Andretti. Good match, back and forth. I mean, I enjoy Action and Andretti and Top Flight because I like the high flyers, but we knew they weren't going to win. We knew Undisputed Kingdom has to win. They're getting gold for their story. They got to look strong. In the end, Roderick Strong delivered his signature backbreaker for the win. 1, 2, 3. But actually, I said earlier there wasn't a lot to take away from Rampage, but when I'm reading the results and kind of refreshing myself, since it's been a couple of days since I watched it, it was actually a pretty good episode of Rampage this week.
It was better than normal. It was above average.
Yeah.
Rampage, like I said, Rampage could be a fast forward show. But this was one of their better shows.
Yes. And then that brings us to last night's Collision, which was from Ottawa, Ontario, which there's going to be a lot of Canadian shows coming up in the next few weeks because this kicks off their 2024 Canadian tour. And we got a hell of a match to begin with Shibata versus Bryan Danielson, a match that 7-8 years ago we never thought we'd get because both guys were done for their careers for medical reasons. One was
told they were done.
One was having seizures. One was having one had a brain injury. Yeah, concussions and brain injuries. So, but these two guys, if you like technical wrestling and guys just hitting each other, hitting each other, this is a match for you.
Yeah, the part of when they sat in the middle of the ring, Indian style, and then literally slapped the shit out of each other. In fact, Danielson talked backstage afterwards, and this.
Oh my God!
It wasn't red.
No, it was.
It was purple.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Like normally you would see it was red, busted blood vessels, but it was red. It was purple.
Yeah, it was gnarly.
Yeah. So, and Danielson loves those type of matches, and that's what he's having. And his last year full time, he's talked about it. He's going full throttle, and he's going to have these dream matches the way he wants to have them. And I think Tony Khan says, "Run with it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to stop you." So I can only imagine what the hell him and Ospreay are going to do.
It's just gotta be ridiculous. I mean, it's got a chance to be match of the year. Anytime Will Ospreay steps between the ropes, it's got a chance to be match of the year.
But
he's that damn good.
How can it be? Is it you're only saying that is because it's Ospreay and it's Danielson and Danielson's here and Takeshita is only here. That's why you're saying that. Because you can't take anything away from Takeshita on that other one.
So far, that was my match of the year so far.
Yeah,
and the Kyle Fletcher one was pretty damn good too. I think Will is that good. And he's only 30. That's what just gets me excited about his future, as long as he can stay healthy. I mean,
if he can stay healthy,
God,
and we get another 10 years out of him,
oh my God,
we could literally be talking about. He could literally be in the discussion. All right, is he up there with The Rock, Flair, Austin, Taker? I mean, is he going to be battling for a Mount Rushmore spot?
Because he's great. He's better than a lot of those guys you mentioned in the ring. Maybe he's not there yet on the mic or with his character, but he's getting a lot better. And that's one thing I think a lot of American fans were worried about him coming over was, can he relate to the audience with his mic skills and his character? But he's getting there. He's getting there. And the crowd's starting to do the Ospreay chant. That's going to be AEW's version of Kingdom here soon. Which they should have been doing that for Cody and AEW, but that's a podcast for another day. We could go down that rabbit hole. So, but no, Danielson and Shibata tore the house down, I thought, for opening match. And Danielson has leaned into going back to the yes chant. Have you noticed that?
He did that three times, I think, in that match. Yeah.
But he went for the running knee that one spot, and Shibata reversed it. I thought that was great. And in the end, Danielson gets him with the roll up. So. Very fun opener. And they shook hands afterwards, bowed. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Danielson's loving his last full-time run. You can tell. He's just enjoying it. We then got have a good women's match. It was Julia Hart versus Trish Adora. It was an open house. The open house rules that the loser is banned from accompanying their respective team in the tag match. So Julia got the win. But so Adora could accompany the infantry later on during the main event. So which I like that. I like that. That's a different tie-in. Getting a tie-in to a women's match that impacts a men's match later on. Nice little twist.
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like the storyline was great. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
like
the match.
Like what you're talking about, but the match is okay.
Well, and sometimes I forget that Julia Hart's only 22 years old.
Yeah, I forget that a lot too. I guess.
She's still got a little ways to go, but she's getting better and better. And I just until Shivani said something about her being 22, I'm like, oh my God, that's right, because we've seen her on TV for the last couple of years. I was thinking she was 25, 26.
Yeah, because I
still
think
young,
because I think Sky Blue is 22 or 23 too.
Yeah, so they're both got
a long way to go.
Light years ahead of them. So.
But yeah.
We then got Daniel Garcia versus Lee Moriarty. Daddy Magic's on commentary. Shane Taylor's accompanying Lee Moriarty to the ring. Pretty quick match here for the most part, but a good match. Daniel Garcia picks up the win. Then Matt Menard celebrates with him in the ring afterwards. So, to keep pushing Daniel Garcia like they should. He's one of the future faces of the company. So, but overall, good match. I think Lee Moriarty's pretty good too. I like how they're getting him on TV more often this year than they had been. So overall, good match for what it was.
I'm back. My internet froze
again.
Yeah,
I knew you froze, so I just kept rolling on and rambling for a little bit.
My internet's poodoo, remember? Not disagreeing with that. You're still talking about Garcia and Moriarty, right?
Yeah, I said Garcia.
It was good for what it was.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, it was good for what it was.
They're pushing Daniel like they should.
They're pushing him, and I like that they're pushing him, and he doesn't have anybody really in his corner right now.
Yep. Yep. He does. He's not a part of a faction. So.
Yeah, I know. He worked a little bit with FTR for a little
Mhm.
bit, but let him do it on his own. See what he can do.
Yep. So Pac was originally supposed to face Commander, which would have been a really fun match, but Commander getting hurt, they had to replace him with Aaron Solo, of all people. And Pac made pretty quick work of him, and then he got on the mic and told Tony Khan, "The bastard's back. He's looking for trouble, but this isn't exactly what he had in mind, and he's wanting Tony to get him some trouble, or he will go find trouble himself."
A good little promo from Pac.
I did too.
You don't hear him talk a lot, so
Mhm.
when you do hear him talk, it's good. I thought they could find a little bit better
I did too.
replacement. I mean, I'll be completely honest, and I'm not knocking the guy. The only reason I know Aaron Solo is because he dated Bailey back in the day, and then Bailey dumped his ass.
And he's one of Cody's buddies. I mean,
Well, he's one of Cody's buddies, and then wasn't he always on? Didn't him and Sammy vlog on the
vlog.
Independent
He was
together?
part of the vlog. Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
part of Sammy's vlog crew for a while too.
yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's the reason I know Aaron Solo.
Yep.
So.
I kind of forgot about him, to be honest.
We hadn't seen him forever. So
no. One guy we don't see enough is Lance Archer, and I enjoy every time I get to see Lance Archer on my TV.
Yeah, we talked about this. I watched the shows after Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan, and Archer was showing up, and Archer was over New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They love him over there,
Mm-hmm.
and then he comes over here, and I feel like he just kind of gets lost. But I think he's a really, really good talent.
And I think he's going to re-sign with AEW. I know they're in contract talks, and the reason why I say that is he likes having the freedom of working all over the place. You can't do that if you go to WWE. So not yet, at least.
Not yet.
At least.
Maybe they're tickling the waters a little bit,
Yep.
but no. And then having Lance Archer and Claudio together, and I'm sure these guys have ran into each other on the independent scene back in the day, but nothing I've never seen before.
No, nothing I've seen either.
This was a treat for me.
It was hard hitting, and then we did not have a winner. That's pretty rare in AEW because the match got interrupted by the Righteous, and then Danielson came in to make the save, and Shibata too.
And Shibata, they got outnumbered, and then Shibata came down and helped them. By the way, right now behind you is the infamous
the Dudleys.
The infamous Dudley's promo, which would make me look like a cupcake on the explicit side, by the way. I think he picks out a fairly young female in the front row and says some choice words. So
yes,
anyways.
Yes, he does. See, I'm going to have to watch this after the pod's over and unmute it to see how much editing they've done to it. But
that's true. Because I'm guessing it had to be fairly edited.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, because it was about a 4 or 5 minute promo. It went on for a while. So it depends. I'm watching over your shoulder to see how quick they go right into the match. But
yeah, so far. I should have subtitles on, captions. But I don't. Up next, we got Kyle O'Reilly's first match in almost 2 years. Great to see him back. Got a big pop from the crowd. Facing Brian Keith. This was a fun match. I wish we would have got a little more time, but it was good. And O'Reilly got the win in the end. And the Undisputed Kingdom came out to celebrate with him because even though they said, or, Roderick said you can do it on your own, they wanted to have to celebrate by himself.
Yeah. I thought it was a great match.
I guess we put Majin to sleep.
Jeez. Do I need to start screaming and yelling at
your internet cut out there, Shep?
Damn
screaming
it.
and yelling what?
I said, do I need to start screaming, cussing, yelling at Paul like I normally do? Or because usually Paul and I are like completely opposite on thinking on some things.
Yes.
That's okay though.
Yes.
That's what makes us get along so well.
Imagine we're discussing the Kyle O'Reilly Brian Keith match on Collision. So there you go.
Which the more I watch, I really like this Brian Keith. The first time I saw him was on the Independence and Warrior Wrestling up in South Bend, and he was with oh God, that was right when Santana came back. And he worked him up there, and I like, that guy's pretty good. And then all of a sudden, he started showing up on some AEW shows, and then we get the logo that he's all elite, and he's good. I don't think we've seen him talk yet much, but his in-ring work is really good.
Yeah, I like his gimmick, the bounty hunter. He's got some good music. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah. He's been featured a lot since he's become all elite. So
yeah, good for him.
We then got a AEW Tag Team Championship tournament match. The House of Black, Buddy Matthews, and help me out here, Brody King.
Brody King.
I'm like, I can see him in my head. What is his name? Brody King, Buddy Matthews versus the Infantry, which is who's Infantry here? Man, I'm struggling tonight.
There we go. I'm back.
You're back. Well, help me out here. Who's the Infantry?
This should have been a squash match.
Should have been.
Infantry. I have not a clue.
It's Bravo and Ding, but I can't think of their first names. I am
Bravo and Ding.
Ding, yeah, DEAN.
Like Dingaling.
Captain Ding. He beat
MJF.
Ding. I struggle with NG, so DEAN. Ding.
I'm thinking Ding. I'm like, Dingaling or what the hell?
Sean Ding. About? Thank you much,
Sean
Ding. I am struggling. God dang.
Oh,
you're gonna be like my wife. My wife makes fun of me all the time because I can't pronounce N and G's very well. There's certain words she'll just throw out there, and I struggle really bad.
Ding! I didn't know there was some Japan wrestler in the infantry all of a sudden.
I deserve every bit of it. It's bad.
That's okay. That's all right.
It's bad.
I can't make fun of your education because I went to the same damn place.
Majin stick to how they screwed this up. Oh no, that's Proud and Powerful. I'm sorry. Yeah, how they screwed that up. They should have been tag team champs. Yeah, that Santana's not with the company anymore. That was awful. I don't know.
And that was more personal backstage stuff than.
But like right when they came into AEW, they were hot in 2019.
Yeah.
They should have gave them tag titles. Yeah,
I enjoyed them in TNA.
Oh yeah,
Impact or whatever.
But basically, the gist of this match for the tournament was House of Black was killing these guys. Buddy, instead of doing the 1, 2, 3, pulled him up, got cocky. Julia tells him to go to the top rope. Mark Briscoe comes down, nails Buddy with a chair, baits Brody King into following him into the crowd, and then Infantry pick up the win, 1, 2, 3. So they are facing FTR, not House of Black. Then Malachi comes out looking all pissed off. He has a stare down with Briscoe.
If you're really going to extend the House of Black versus Mark Briscoe story, this is perfect. But does it hurt the tag team title tournament a little bit? Yes, because this being a wild card match, you would think would be House of Black versus FTR, which we'd love to see. They have beef. Now you're going to have the Infantry versus FTR, and FTR is going to ring ding a ding them.
Yes,
just for you. I made that little.
Thanks. I'm not repeating you. Asshole. I'm glad Paul's not here because now you're going to know in the future, and you're going to test me every week.
Oh yeah.
If Paul, oh my God, Paul tests me on Friday mornings on live radio.
Ooh, and maybe I'll call in next Friday.
We don't do call-ins.
Make an exception. Make an exception for a sponsor.
That's true. You do kind of sponsor the whole station.
Yes. Anyways,
we're going down one of these. We're going down one of these. The new rabbit hole graphic of KOP.
Anyways, so yeah, I think it hurts the tag team tournament because. You take a strong team like House of Black out of there. It helps the House of Black versus Briscoe story, which we've been kind of seeing. I still think it's hilarious that Mark Briscoe tried to set him on fire with pyro. Him trying to hit that ignition box was just absolute electric, no pun intended. But to me, Mark Briscoe is a very, very entertaining individual. So.
Majin here in the comments on YouTube, we've been saying they should build new stars. Honestly, I have no problem with the infantry winning.
I don't either. But you're putting him in a position now where if some reason you put the infantry over FTR.
I don't see that happening, but I like the House of Black, so I don't like them losing. But what it did do to me is like, oh, so maybe this tournament isn't as predictable as I thought it was.
Well, I mean, I predicted FTR versus the Bucks, so
yeah.
And obviously they're on the opposite side of the bracket.
It could be Ricky Starks and your boy Big Bill. They're in the tournament.
Yeah.
Could
they
be.
suck. They suck.
But one guy doesn't make look bad. I mean, it makes Buddy and Brody look like idiots and make them look cocky, especially Buddy. It doesn't make Malachi look bad, but he's got to be pissed at his boys for losing.
Yeah.
But now I want him and Briscoe one-on-one. This is where the ROH thing's so weird with me. Because we have one storyline playing out on AEW television with Briscoe. We have another one on ROH playing out with Eddie. And same thing with Eddie, with Okada and Briscoe. It's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they are two different shows.
Two different shows, and you have the freedom to work wherever you want to work.
Majin said, but FTR has been taking some L's lately. Them taking an L here would give them more adversity to come back from.
Yeah, they've had enough adversity to come back from. It's time to put them back in the tag title picture for sure.
Some of it might hinge on what happens with outside the ring, shoot life with Cash Wheeler and this gun charge.
So that shoot was no pun intended, right there, Tanner?
Not at all. That's going to court down in Florida this summer. So
that's going to court, and I'm not saying this because he's a professional athlete. He's famous in the world we know.
Yes.
But I would say 80% of the public have no idea who the hell Cash Wheeler is.
Right.
So I feel like when it goes to trial, if it goes to trial, it's going to be a plea deal.
Mm.
Not saying a slap on the wrist. I'm guessing it's going to be a fine, probation, suspension of concealed carry permit or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I know the max sentence is like, I don't know, 2 years in jail or something like that. I don't see him doing any jail time. It was a bad
decision on his part.
Yeah. Bad decision on his part. Obviously, he was a hothead in the moment. You should never do that with a handgun.
No.
And I'm a very, very pro gun concealed carry type of guy. But I know that I'm not gonna. It's there for one reason only, and that's to protect you or your family. It's not to scare somebody. It's not to flash at somebody. That's the improper way of doing that. And
well said.
And that's what makes some people that are not fans of guns. That's they point the finger and say, "This is the reason." You're the problem. So it's a bad example on the people that actually use the rules the way they're supposed to be and use it as self-protection. So, he should never do it. He probably should be punished.
Jail, maybe community service or something.
Community
service.
Jail time, no. It's going to be fine. Maybe a suspension of his permit. And obviously, I'm guessing I don't know him personally, obviously, but I'm sure he's a level-headed guy. I realized that he got caught at the moment, shouldn't have done it, and we should move on.
Yep. Majin here says Malachi should pull a Raven and king them in the ring for getting too cocky.
I'm sorry, you got me in the middle of a drink, but that's not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
No, because Raven did that with the flock, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You talk about a mind of a genius. Raven was.
Yeah, he's definitely out there, but creativity wise,
he is. But I've watched some documentaries. The guy is a very, very intelligent human being. And it was one of the Forever Hardcore. It was the opposition to that ECW the rise and fall of ECW that WWE did. A lot of the guys didn't appear on that one, so they made their own pay-per-view.
She's our ECW reference there. She said he did an ECW with the Gathering. So it wasn't the
Oh,
Flock
he didn't do it the Flock in the WCW. It was the Gathering. Okay.
So that probably would be a little too hardcore for WCW now that we think about it.
Well, that's true. If it was in WCW, he would have put the Flock on a pole match.
Yeah. Or have Hogan come out with the chair shots.
Well, Hogan had arthritis in his elbows.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Imagine says Steffi is an extremely crappy wrestling.
Whoa! Hey!
Imagine we do have some ECW on the background here. So
yes, ECW. There would be no Attitude Era if there wasn't an ECW.
True.
So
very true. It's not for everybody. Wasn't for everybody, but
a lot
of people liked it.
Paul Heyman is a brilliant, sick. Let's put it that way.
Yes. And lastly, to wrap up the week in AEW, we had Adam Copeland close out Collision. He came to the ring carrying a box, the same box he had the other night. It says Spike on it. He also has a chair. Sits down in the chair, says, Christian, I am talking to you. Christian Cage, I am talking to you. Jay is dead. He didn't come to steal Christian's spotlight. He came to earn a title shot with the Cope Open. The Patriarchy took him out with a concerto. He got on the phone, got a call from somebody who reminds him who he is. Mrs. Foley's baby boy, as he referred to him. He created Spike. He wanted to create his own Barbie. He created Spike. It's a piece of plywood painted with black nails. Spike was scratched into the side. He would make Christian say, I quit. Said 40 years of their friendship comes to where it began in their hometown. He's going to make Christian say, I quit. So his exact words are 40 years. 40 years after this all started in our hometown, it ends. That's going to main event Wednesday night.
I like the fiery promo. Okay. I don't like Spike.
Yeah,
It is not Adam Copeland.
It's going to get used against him, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Oh, that one. I'm glad Martin brought that up because he also mentioned how another person had Janice, someone else he sought advice from. I realized that, but I had no idea who he was talking about. So I'm taking it that he mentioned like Abyss. So.
Okay. Which the only way he would have worked with Abyss is when Abyss is backstage for WWE the last 5 years.
Correct.
So, yeah, good. Again, good promo. I just didn't care for Spike.
Yeah, it was passionate. Do you think Copeland gets the title off of Christian, or do you think Christian retains Wednesday?
It's changing.
It's changing.
It's changing.
I think it's time, even though Christian's been great. I think it's time, and maybe you have Killswitch finally turn.
I don't want no part of Killswitch.
I know, but
they
planted those seeds for a reason, Shep.
Dino Douche has no.
Have you liked him? Have you liked him better as a heel?
No, I've never liked him.
You just don't like him, period. Okay.
Yeah, throw him down to ROH. And it's nothing against. I mean, I watched him in ROH, real ROH back in the day. Before AEW, and yeah, I'm just not a fan of him. Like he's an athletic dude, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I laugh every time Cornette calls him Dino Douche. I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me at all. I would rather just see Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne. How you doing? I'd just rather see them in Christian's corner than Killswitch or Dino Douche or whatever.
Majin says he thinks Cope gets it. Christian takes time off, comes back as a face, lets them do their run finally, which I hope they do because that was my prediction. One of my predictions for 2024 was they'd win tag team titles this year together.
Yeah, but man, damn,
He
Christian,
is good as a heel.
he's such a good heel right now.
And we know Copeland can be a heel when he wants to be.
He can do a great heel.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's what he does. I got it. If takes a break, he comes back. He comes back as Nick Wayne's stepdad, and starts. Then oh yeah, I can see this. You could make that work, just like he did. You can make it like when he did that thing with Lita.
Mm-hmm.
You could reverse the roles and have Mama Wayne in there now. So again, that's back in the Attitude Era. I don't know if we can get away with that nowadays, but
and Beth might have something to say about that now.
Who?
He'll be a heel eventually, and they bring back the 5-second pose. That'd be awesome.
Oh, you're talking about the Glamazon.
Yes.
That's Phoenix. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hall of Famer.
Well.
Yep.
She knows what's best for business.
Yes. Live sex celebration.
Oh, man.
Wild times.
Hey, as long as we can get a sulking Matt Hardy in the corner, it would be even better.
Speaking of Matt Hardy, I'm glad you brought that up before we do our ratings and Superstar of the Week. It sure looks like he's not re-signing with AEW. I mean, there was reports that they were in talks because his contract was come to an end this month, but the things he's posting on social media, it sure sounds like he's going to be done. His time with AEW is going to be done, which is too bad because it didn't hit like we all thought it was going to, and some of that wasn't his fault. It's right when he signed, the pandemic happened, and Broken Matt could not take off like it was supposed to. And then he got injured a lot, and Jeff, him and Jeff were going to win tag titles. Then Jeff had the DUI. Nothing just ever clicked. Nothing.
I don't think that's a bad thing if he goes on down the road.
Now Jeff still got time because they said originally Jeff's contract was supposed to end at the same time as Matt's. That's how they structured it when he started. But since he's had so many injuries and time away, his contract's now, they think, at least through the end of the year, if not clear till this time next year.
Yeah, and really, I see Matt going back to TNA as the broken character, or I see him going back as Big Money Matt in the suit and tie.
Mm-hmm.
He's towards the end of his career. I don't think he can wrestle more than once or twice a month right now. So I don't think it hurts AEW at all. Not that I dislike Matt Hardy. I think he is out there. Yeah. Him and his wife are out there, which is fine. It takes different strokes for different folks, man.
Mm-hmm.
But just not my cup of tea.
No, it's just too bad is what I was saying, because his character was hot as hot could be when he had originally signed with AEW. It's just, he and Brody Lee both should have had full houses that night to debut, and it would pop the roof off, but they were in the first no crowd in Daly's place, and that's where they tried to make the broken character work. Without crowd, there was no way it was going to get over. So
yeah.
I'll just shut. If Jeff goes back to TNA, he's done. I mean, it's different management, sure, but TNA was where he was arguably at his worst. That's speaking for Jeff, not Matt there.
Yeah. Well, he had the substance abuse problem.
Yeah, the Victory Road against Sting. Oh my God.
Sting, that was just
awful.
And that was just I just saw that was the anniversary, a week or so ago?
It was 13 years ago, I think. And he had no idea where it was. He had no idea what was going on.
And on top of that, Bischoff let him go out there.
Yeah.
Fucking
that's all. He is an idiot.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he is an idiot. Yes, but Shep, what was your show of the week, and what was your rating for that show?
I thought this week was tough.
Mm-hmm.
I like Big Business, but I like Collision.
Well, it sounds like you like Rampage more than usual too.
I like Rampage more than usual, but it was one match. Match. I'm gonna have to go with Collision because of Shibata and Danielson.
I like it.
My rating for that show was good, and I'm going 7.2.
I'm going Dynamite. More weeks than not, it seems like I do go Dynamite. But I enjoyed Big Business. I enjoyed Mercedes finally come to the company. I did think it kind of fell flat compared to the last few Dynamites. And I think it was hyped up so much that it just kind of fell flat a little bit. The card itself, but I still thought it was good. It was better than some ratings I've gave. I'm giving it a 7.6. 7.6. So, how about your wrestler of the week? Your AEW wrestler of the week.
This is a tough
This is
one.
a very tough one this week.
I'm gonna have to go with Takeshita on Rampage.
Good pick.
And if I had an honorable mention, I was going with Kyle O'Reilly, but Takeshita's my guy.
Yep, that's a good pick. Good pick there. I'm thinking back here. I thought Wardlow's showing was good against Joe, but I'm not gonna use that. Willow, good for her getting a win in the main event. I'm going with Danielson though, over on Collision.
It's hard not to.
Yep. And I could have went with Shibata. I mean, the dude, for a guy who can't really speak English, and I didn't know much about him until about a year ago. He's a damn good wrestler.
Very good. Very good.
Yep.
And he just straight black boots, straight black trunks, no frills, but just gonna go right and hit you right in the mouth.
I know Steffi and Majin are having a discussion in the comments about Mercedes. Steffi Paul would be right there with you. I know that's his opinion of Mercedes, is that she's not as good as she thinks she is.
Yeah.
And Maj is wondering when we became colliders, as far as guys who like to watch Collision.
When CM Punk debuted as a Collider, the original Colliders.
And Shep's the FTR guy. And Shep's the FTR guy. So.
Yeah. Actually, I should have said FTR, but I was trying to be a smart ass.
And she could get humbled real fast. She's going to have to be the face of that women's division. She's going to have to hold up. So.
Well, it's gonna show real quick when they put her in the ring with Dina Purrazzo, Thunder, Tony,
Serena Deeb,
if she can keep up.
Yep.
Now she put on. I remember back in the day, she put on some bangers with Bayley.
Oh, sure.
With Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. I mean, she can go. But
I'm not knocking on Charlotte and Bayley, okay? But I feel like these girls might have a little bit different step.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me she didn't say Saraya.
Yes, she did.
Oh boy.
I'll have to go check that out. Serena Deeb's appearance on AEW. I have not seen that yet. So, no, she's got, and two of the top female talents have been on shelf for a while. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. Jamie's been out since August.
What is Britt's injury?
I don't know.
I feel like it's got to be concussion based.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen exactly what it is. But she said she's been training to come back. She's been hinting at it a lot. I kind of thought we would see it Wednesday night.
I don't know. Maybe she's in. She's from Pennsylvania. Maybe she.
Well, just a back injury for carrying the division.
Yeah, I just thought maybe the town she is has a meth problem and she's been having too much dentist work to do. So.
That's Phoenix, according to Dwayne.
Yeah, that's me. Oh,
cocaine and meth.
Are we going to get to that shit show?
We can get to it. Right, we can get to it right now.
All right, once we're done with the mothership, we can get to that shit show that I feel that company is backpedaling as fast as they can. And after what I saw Friday night is even more of a shit show with the way The Rock handled the crowd.
So you're not enjoying the build-up is what I'm getting.
I enjoyed the Rock little song because he brought that back. He used to do that, right?
Rock concert.
What I did not enjoy was him coming out, the crowd chanting Rocky, and him, instead of just burying Memphis, said, "Hey, I'm home," which made the crowd pop like he's a face.
Yes.
He sits here and smashes Cody,
which is fine
for what he did on Raw when he's crying and yada yada yada. And then he should have stopped, but no, he turns around and embraces the crowd. And like 4 or 5 different times, somebody said, "I love you, Rock," and he says, "I love you and I appreciate you."
Yeah, that's face.
I'm like, you completely did not advance this fucking story at all, Rock.
Yeah.
As good as you are, maybe the GOAT, you took a step backwards here. Now, let's rewind a little bit. And this is maybe the first time you've ever heard me knock on him. I really didn't enjoy the Cody promo on Monday night.
Here's the problem I had with it. And we know Cody can get emotional, right? If he's going to get emotional and cry, he needs to cry. Let some tears come down. And he didn't do that. I mean, that's what didn't hit for me. Like
you listened to Busted Open the day after, didn't you?
I did. Damn it.
Bully Ray said the same day. So LaGreca was hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, of course Dave was.
Yeah. And Bully Ray says, "Now, wait a minute. I don't care how good of an actor you are here." He says he cried on national television, which is fine. But there was not a single tear running down that cheek. Bully Ray caught on to that. Of course, Bully Ray is.
We got Rock haters in the house tonight.
Do we?
Majin and Steph, Majin said, "Don't suck up to the Rock. You want to talk about people who are overrated? I'll staple Rock's name at the top of the list."
Wow.
Because earlier he said that "I'm sorry, but people consider this guy one of the best talkers of all time. He's boring as hell."
So, Majin, you didn't like that poontang pie, did you? Back in the day.
And I will agree with Steph. He's not the same as he was in Attitude Era, and that's because he can't be. But yet, he has been going very edgy and explicit on his social media, which is ticking off the other talent, because the other talent's been told, they've been reminded that keep things PG, but The Rock can do whatever he wants because he's The Rock.
Well, and then you also notice he finished that promo with, he kept calling himself the final boss.
Yes.
Which is kind of like a video game reference. Like, to beat the video game, you got to beat the final boss. But he's also saying, "I'm a board member. I'm the boss."
And you know what? You know what he's going to tell those talents? Off is a direction they can fuck.
Yeah.
that line gets me pretty good.
And I love in his promos, the promo last week, he brought up Dave LaGreca in the promo.
Yep.
Which I'm sure LaGreca marked out for, I'm sure.
All right, Majin, you're a Jericho guy back in the day. How do you feel about Jericho right now, in AEW, right now, teaming with Hook? You're interested in his comments there.
They're Canadian bros.
That's true. It's true. But other than that, I don't have a ton to hit on the world of wrestling right now.
You're a Busted Open listener.
Yep.
What do you think about Nick Nemeth being the new host or co-host of Busted Open?
I'm all for it. I think it's good.
I thought it was great, and I love how much the first show he busted LaGreca's balls a lot.
Oh yeah, they need somebody. They haven't had somebody to do that in a while. Bully does, but
Bully does, and I like Tommy, obviously. But I feel like Tommy can get very dry, very bland. I love Tommy's insight. I love his mind on the sport of wrestling. But I like how Bully can get fired up. We know Dave goes on his rants. So to have another guy in there that obviously doesn't agree with anything LaGreca says is really good too.
Yep. No, he's gonna fit in perfectly. He's a talented dude.
Well, what did you think of his comments about Cody?
I didn't catch the show live
Okay.
Friday, so I just knew he was joining the crew. So
I take it he is not a fan of Cody.
which
So
would make sense if you follow the timeline.
yeah. He made fun of the Cody story. He made fun of the Cody legacy. He did everything but made fun of Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
So
There's probably there must be some beef there between the guys, but Cody probably helped get his brother in the door at AEW. I would think. I don't know though. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. So, but Majin, to answer my question earlier about Jericho, he doesn't hate Jericho being with Hook. If he can help newer stars rise up, fine. And Hook is on TV with Jericho, and that far more already than he previously was. However, he does think Jericho should take an extended leave. His character is stale. That's where I am with Jericho. He just doesn't do anything for me right now.
but if he can elevate Hook,
Mhm.
which Hook has a obviously very, very bright future.
Right.
If he can elevate him, then that's okay. Well, I guess
Right.
we'll see Wednesday night how he handles it.
Yep. So, anything else, Shep, you want to cover tonight?
No, I normally have a bunch of rabbit holes, but it's been a pretty quiet week on the wrestling front.
Yeah.
No big contracts, and I guess the biggest news was Triple H. Obviously proving a wrestler to go into an independent show. And I noticed that in that Jeff's Barnett used the WWE logo on the banner. I mean that's got to carry some weight, right?
Yeah.
So
Sure. Oh yeah, I'm sure Taz loves calling his son's matches. Yeah, that's probably a cool honor for him.
And I think Taz does a really good job. Go back to the Hook and Samoa Joe match.
Mm-hmm.
He was calling it really good, and Joe was choking him out, and Taz almost, had I'm going to put the headset down and be a dad real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I love that aspect of it. So now Tanner's just being cocky.
No. I'm just shining the bell up a little bit as we get ready to close this thing out.
Again, Tanner's being cocky.
Oh, Steffi said we just saw another. Oh yeah, Cyrus the Virus has been back behind me, isn't he?
Cyrus the Virus.
And there's Tommy Dreamer.
Oh,
looking a lot younger than he does now. I mean, of course, it was a while back, but
well,
a couple pounds lighter there for good old.
And then Beulah McGillicuddy going down to the ring with him.
Yep.
Beulah McGillicuddy.
I didn't know till like 2 years ago they're shoot married.
Yeah, they have one or two kids together.
Yeah, I had no idea until like 2 years ago. So,
well, he talks like when I don't know her name in real life, her shoot name.
He calls her Beulah.
He calls her Beulah on Busted Open, which is hilarious.
Yep. So, yeah, one of these days Taz got to throw his headset down and do something. I agree. I'm surprised he hasn't got physical yet.
So let's go back.
I know I didn't know they had kids till, like I said, about 2 years ago.
Let's go back 10, 15 years ago. Taz retired because he had a neck injury, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, then he did commentary, went to TNA, and then obviously here.
Mm-hmm.
But he isn't. I mean, anybody know the severity of it? I mean, could the guy?
I haven't seen him ever get physical since he's been on commentary.
Yeah, I don't know if the guy
in like a manager role with Aces and Eights in TNA, but
I don't know if the guy could take a bump or not.
I don't either. But one commentator that will. I think we're gonna get Nigel and Danielson. They're planting more and more seeds every week.
Dude, I listened to Nigel on Saturday night. He hates Bryan Danielson.
Yep.
He picks him apart, makes fun of him.
Yep. That's got about chromosomes.
Yeah, he did.
I thought that, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I would have said that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So that's if I'm putting a $20 bill down, that's Wembley Stadium.
I think you're 100% correct. And Copeland takes digs at Nigel too. On the opposite side.
So. On the opposite side, yes.
Yes.
But Danielson and Nigel went at it in ROH, right?
They got history. Yep.
So Danielson took the ROH belt off of him, correct?
I believe you're right.
So
yeah, there's a lot of history there. there. And Modern said Cope took one in his promo. Yep, he took a shot at Nigel. So I like that, though. I'm all for that. So, well, with that being said, thanks for listening or watching to another episode of the Kicking Out podcast. We'll be back at the same time, 8:30 next Sunday. Hopefully, Paul's feeling better or back from, being roadkill back here behind us and then can join us. But until then, you can follow us, the Kicking Out podcast. Hit that like, subscribe, follow button at Kicking Out Pod on all social media platforms. Follow Shep at TheShep27. Follow Paul at Paul Zartman 921. And follow your KOP predictions champion, myself, Tanner Lee, at Tanner Lee 92. And get some Kicking Out podcast merch at kickingOutshop.com. It's $3.17 a day. It's Shep's day. Get that Shep t-shirt or hoodie. Paul's day's tomorrow. My day's Tuesday. Look for all that on the socials.
Make it a double, baby.
Make it a double. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next week.